So in the last video we said that we would be deploying our campus placement predictor app. So we would be deploying on Microsoft Azure cloud platform. So before that, let's see whether how it is working on local system. So if I just sit in some random values and hit on predict, it will say me that you will get placed based on the following results, and the predicted probability is like 74% true. If I enter some data which is like it will not support me to get placed. So it was saying that based on the details filled, you are not eligible for the placement, and here are some tips you can follow so that next time when you sit on placement drive, you'll get placed surely. So this is the local this is hosted on the local host. So now we will try to host it on Microsoft Azure. So for that, what we need to do is I already have this readme file which has some kind of code which we will be using. And if you are new to Microsoft Azure, then just click on Microsoft Azure, sign into Microsoft Azure, and over here enter your email address and every detail you just enter, and keep hitting on next. There will be an email verification link, and then you should verify your email. Post verification, you'll get a portal where you have to pay some 1 rupee or so as it is basically used to check whether you are a valid user or not. Basically, you are having a valid credit card details or not. It's basically on that. It's not they are not gonna charge you anything. It's not like that. It's basically a free trial service. They just want to know that whether you are a valid user or not. So what is the scheme of Microsoft Azure? It's similar to the one in by AWS. So the scheme is you will get some free trial services for some 12 months or 8 months. Post free trial services, if you keep on using the services of Microsoft Azure, you will get penalties onto it, and eventually you have to pay for those penalties. But if you do not use after your free trial service, you do not use services of Microsoft Azure, there will be no charges which will be kept on you. Okay, so once you have this Microsoft Azure downloaded, what you need to also do is you need to install Microsoft Azure CLI, which is nothing but command line interface of Microsoft Azure. So if you are an Linux user, go and download for Linux. If you are in Mac OS, go and download for Mac OS. If you are for Windows, then download it from Windows. So the two basic requirements over here are: first, you need a Microsoft Azure account, that too verified Microsoft Azure account. Next thing, you require the Microsoft Azure command line interface, and in addition to it, you also require Python. And yes, yeah, because we code everything in Python, so you require Python 3 also. So let's get started with it, how to begin our coding and all. So basically what you need to do is, this is the projects folder where I have initiated my project. This is all my requirements and everything are set over here. So what I need to do is I need to open command line interface or CMD or command prompt here. So when I type in command prompt here, I get the command prompt here, and over here now what I should do is I should start writing this code. Okay, so step by step I will do. So first let me check the Python version what I'm having. Python -3 version. It's saying that Python 3.9.1 is the current version, and AZ version. Let me see the command line interface version of Microsoft Azure. It is saying that it's 2.29. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to type, this is the very important command, az login. So this is nothing but it will authorize your login information. So when you type in az login, you will get a window typed here. Then you have to sign in into your Microsoft Azure account. So once your Microsoft Azure account is created successfully and you sign in, you'll get a message on the tab like it's login successfully, right? So you'll be redirected to this command line interface where you can download this and all this thing. So over here also we can see that the cloud name is Azure Cloud, and name and everything has been given here. So next what we have to do is we need to as the entire project is in projects folder, I have not hosted in the GitHub. I have not hosted yet my code on GitHub. I have just kept it in my local machine. So I need not use this git clone command. Okay, just be very careful. Need not use this git clone command because I have not cloned the repository from GitHub. It's already present in my local machine, so I would not use git clone command here. Now what I need to do is I need to create a Python environment here. Where I have to create the Python environment is very important. Now you see here MLAI is the main directory. Inside that directory projects is there. So over here I have to create my virtual environment. So I am inside MLAI, so I need to go to projects directory, projects folder basically. So what I'll type is cd projects. Just type that and then I am into my projects directory. Okay, the projects directory is the directory where the entire code is there. Okay, where the entire code is there basically. In projects directory the entire code is there. Now what I need to do is I need to type in this virtual environment command, python -3 -m venv space .venv. If you type in, a virtual environment will be created inside projects folder. Once this is completed, I'll show you how it looks like. Then we have to basically activate the virtual environment. Okay, so over here if you see, we get this .venv thing, right? So if you right click here, we have the scripts over here, the Python scripts, then lib, site packages, then include, we have everything over here, right? So now what we have to do is we need to activate this virtual environment. So how to activate it? Just type in, it's a shortcut over here, just type .ve and then press tab, it will auto complete. Okay, then slash, then press s, then tab, it will auto complete. Scripts \a tab, activate. Just hit enter. So when you get this kind of command, means when you get this kind of status over here, that means your virtual environment is activated now. Now what you need to do is, in your virtual environment you do not have all the dependencies. Basically in your local system you downloaded Python, you downloaded Flask, you downloaded everything, but in the virtual environment it is not downloaded. Virtual environment means what? Basically you are creating your own environment where you will install what all dependencies you need on part of you. Okay, so in entire environment you will be having, in your entire software you will be having so many things, like you will be having Java, C++, C compiler, Java compiler, C++ compiler, Python interpreter, and so many things. But in your virtual environment you need specifically Python. Okay, you do not require any Java environment or anything. You will work only on Python. So Java, C++ and C code or anything will not affect or will not work in your Python virtual environment. So that is the reason why we did py -3, that is Python 3, that is create virtual environment of Python 3. Okay, so now you are inside your virtual environment. Your virtual environment has been activated. Now you need to install all the dependencies. So just type in pip install -r. Don't forget -r, because sometimes what happens is pip always gets updated. So it will just type you it will show an error like upgrade the pip version from 20.0.1 to 20.0. Some reason it will give. So basically you type in -r so that no such errors comes. So just type in requirements.txt. Okay, just type this and press enter. Now it will install all the requirements which you mentioned in this requirements.txt file. So in the requirements.txt file, what all requirements you mentioned, all these requirements will be installed in this virtual environment. Okay, once this is done, what you need to do is you need to make sure that all these requirements are readily running in your local system first. So the entire idea of virtual environment, I'll explain you once again. So what the entire idea of virtual environment is, in a gist I'll be saying you what it means. Okay, till that time I'll say you what it means. So basically virtual environment means what? So let's say that this is your software. Okay, this is your software, forget about this. So in this you have Java, you have Java, you have JavaScript, you have C++, you have Python, you have C, you have Ruby, and so many languages you are having, XYZ languages you are having in this software. So this is a collection of everything, right? Now you need specifically Python only, you need specifically Java only. Okay, Okay, so you need specifically Python, you need specifically JavaScript, you need specifically Java. So for that, what we do is, in this entire system we will make a virtual environment which occupies almost like 1/5 of the total space of this, for assumption that our packages will take 1/5 of the total space of this. Now this virtual environment will only run on basis of either Python, if you specify py3 minus minus, which we specified over here. See, this command is there, no, py minus 3 minus m vnb dot. So what does this mean is, this is the virtual environment of Python. If you want the virtual environment of Java, you should write Java. If you want virtual environment of C++, so you write C++. If you want for C, you write C. JavaScript, you write JavaScript, like that. So virtual environments allow you to install the dependencies whichever are required only, not everything. Okay, it will not allow all the requirements to be installed. Only those requirements are installed in the virtual environment which are specified. So that is why we mentioned this requirements.txt file. So based on this txt file only, this txt file will say that these all the requirements are needed for our Python script to run. Okay, so that is the advantage of using virtual environments, and virtual environments will work always very in a good fashion. Yeah. So now once my everything is installed, like all the packages are installed, as I said that first I will check in my local machine if it's running well or not. So just hit flask run. Now when I hit on flask run, I'll get some URL, localhost URL. So if it's working fine on my local machine, then I will go and deploy this on Microsoft Azure using this AZWebUP name. Okay, till then let me just check whether this is working fine or not. Okay, just a minute, I'll just check this. Control C, Control V. Yeah, it is working fine. Now if I just enter some values over here, some random values, and let me check whether this is working or not. Yes, it is working absolutely fine. So on my local system this is working absolutely fine. To exit this, you press in Control C. So over here you press in Control C, it will exit. Now is the final step. You need to deploy your machine. You need to deploy this Flask app on Microsoft Azure Cloud. So for that, type in AZ web app up minus minus SKU. Whatever the command I have just given there, just type in that command, minus minus name, and over here app name you have to be you have to give your own app name. Okay, so I'm giving campus placement predictor as the name of the app. Okay, now this is my name of the app. Now I will hit enter. Now the disadvantage of Microsoft Azure is this will take a lot of time in deployment. Basically it will take around 10 to 15 minutes as compared to, if you compare Microsoft Azure cloud services with Amazon cloud services or Heroku, the time taken for deployment is very less, but in Microsoft Azure it is more. So this is the disadvantage of Microsoft Azure, that it is very slow, whereas as compared to other platforms. So this was all about the commands. So this command file will be shared with you again. This is very important file. Don't lose this. If you are using Microsoft Azure, always you make sure that you are using command line interface only. If you are using command line interface, then you will not face any problem. Trust me, you will not face any problem if you are using command line interface for any cloud deployment service, whether it's Heroku, whether it's Microsoft Azure, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Google Cloud. You will never face any issues with command line interface. Just make sure that. Okay, so this requirements and this file will be shared. Till then I'll be waiting for this to get deployed. Once it's deployed, I'll open up and I'll say the advantages and disadvantages of using Microsoft Azure. Till then, do practice the code and do practice these commands. Thank you.